I'd been driving trucks in the United States for almost 10 years. Long enough to know the road has rules nobody writes down. Night driving is different. The highways feel wider and the silence feels heavier. In 2019, I was hauling frozen freight from Flagstaff, Arizona to Bakersfield, California. Dispatch approved a shortcut through the desert. I didn't question it. I left at 11:40 p.m. No moon, no traffic, just road. Around midnight, I noticed headlights behind me. They stayed the same distance for too long. When I sped up, they sped up. When I slowed down, they slowed down. That's when I realized it wasn't a truck. It was an old pickup. No plates, headlights mounted too high. I reached for my CB radio. The channel was dead. Until it wasn't.
You shouldn't be out here this late.
I froze. I asked what channel he was on. Nobody answered. Then the radio spoke again.
You missed your stop.
I checked my GPS. There were no stops. The pickup stayed behind me. Then I saw someone standing on the side of the road. A man. Tall. Completely still. I didn't slow down. As I passed him, I looked. I don't know why. His head turned too far, too fast. His mouth was open like he was screaming, but there was no sound. In my mirror, the pickup slammed its brakes and vanished. Then the smell hit me. Rotting meat, burned rubber. My dashboard flickered and the radio came back on.
You looked.
My engine started losing power. Handprints appeared on my windshield from the outside, dragging downward. I started praying, begging, yelling.
We get them when they stop.
The door handle shook. Once, twice. I didn't stop driving. I didn't slow down. When the sun came up, everything stopped. The smell disappeared. The handprints faded. My truck drove like nothing happened. Dispatch told me they stopped using that route. One driver never came back. I quit night driving after that. I thought it was over, until last month. I was parked at a rest stop in Nevada. My CB radio turned on by itself.
You remember me.
I unplugged the radio, but I could hear breathing behind me, slow, wet, right next to my ear. I didn't turn around. When the sun came up, it stopped. I sold my truck the next day. If you're a trucker listening to this, remember one thing. If a voice tells you to pull over at night, don't. If you see someone standing on the roadside, don't look at their face, because permission is all they need. I ignored my warning. Please, don't ignore yours.
I didn't plan to survive this long, and I didn't plan to understand it, but understanding came anyway, piece by piece, mile by mile, and I kept driving. Different states, different roads, but the same feeling followed me. It never left. It just stayed behind, always just far enough that I couldn't see it clearly, but close enough that I could feel it. I stopped using my name, introduced myself less, because names feel like anchors, and anchors make you stop. I slept in my car, engine running, even in parking lots, especially in parking lots, because at 1:12 a.m. it watched. I felt it every time, pressure in my chest, buzzing in my ears, like altitude sickness, and I started noticing patterns, places where it felt stronger, desert highways, long bridges, border roads, anywhere movement mattered, anywhere stopping was expected. Toll booths terrified me. Rest stops felt like traps. I learned to time sunrise. Dawn was protection. Witnesses mattered. Motion mattered more. And then I met someone like me in Wyoming at a gas station, 5:30 a.m. He looked exhausted, an older trucker, eyes always moving, and I saw it on his face. Recognition. We didn't shake hands. He asked me one question. What time did it start for you? I answered, 1:12. His face fell. He nodded slowly and said, that's when they switch shifts. We sat in silence, engines idling, and he told me the truth, not stories, rules. He said truckers aren't victims, we're tools. We move, we watch mirrors, we listen to radios, we notice patterns, and that's what it feeds on. Awareness, attention, recognition. He said the highways are old, older than asphalt, built over paths, trade routes, migration trails, places something already traveled. The roads didn't create it, they woke it up. He said stopping gives it shape, looking gives it direction, listening gives it voice. That's why radios matter, why mirrors matter, why names matter. He told me how it ends, not with death, but with replacement. You stop, it finishes the drive, wearing you, sounding right, pulling others over. He showed me scars, hand-shaped, too many fingers. He said he once stopped for 30 seconds. That was enough. Sunrise saved him, but only barely. He gave me advice, end the route, not the drive. I didn't understand until I realized it hunts loops, repeated paths, familiar roads, habits. You break the loop, you confuse it, you make it choose. I drove east, he drove west. We didn't look back. I crossed into California and kept going. Ocean roads felt safer, too many endings, but it adapted. One night it got close, closer than ever. My reflection spoke, using my voice. You're tired, it said. You can stop now. I didn't answer. My headlights flickered. The road bent wrong like it was breathing, and I remembered the advice. End the route, confuse it, stay moving. I turned inland, no destination, no plan, just motion, and it screamed, not out loud, in my bones. The smell flooded the car. My hands went numb. The engine sputtered. I pushed harder. Sunrise was minutes away. It begged then, sounding human, afraid. Don't leave me, it said. And I realized it needed drivers, witnesses, roads. The sun rose, pressure snapped, the voice cut off. Silence returned, real silence. I didn't stop. I kept driving until noon, then dusk, then dawn again. I broke every habit, different hours, different speeds, different routes, and it never caught up. I still feel it sometimes, but distant, like something locked out. I think it's still out there, looking for loops, for drivers who repeat, for voices that answer. That's why I'm writing this, not to scare you, but to interrupt something. Stories break patterns. Warnings create awareness. Awareness weakens it. If you drive for a living, change your routes, change your hours. Ignore empty radios. Don't answer familiar voices, especially your own. If something asks you to stop, keep moving. If it sounds lonely, keep moving. Loneliness is bait. If this feels personal, that means you noticed. Now you know what to do. I'm not special. I just kept moving. Others will read this. Some won't listen. Some already stopped. That's how it survives. Quietly, patiently, between headlights, between breaths, between destinations. The highways won't warn you. Dispatch won't warn you. I'm warning you. Don't complete the loop. Don't become familiar. Don't stop where it expects you. Because once it finishes a drive, it starts another, using your hands, your voice, your face, pulling others over. I ended my route. I stayed alive. That's the difference. If you hear this late at night and the road feels wrong, trust that feeling. Change direction. Keep moving. Let sunrise find you driving, not parked, not listening, not answering. The road belongs to motion, not stillness, not voices, not mirrors. I'm still out here, still moving, still watching dawn, still free. This is the last warning and the last story, because endings matter, and this one stays unfinished, not stopped, not replaced, just moving forward like it should. If you're driving now, keep going. If you're stopped, start the engine. Don't let it finish your route. Drive.
I thought quitting would end it. I thought distance mattered, that daylight mattered, that staying off the road would finally make it stop. I was wrong. After I sold my truck, I stayed home as much as I could. No highways, no rest stops, no night driving. I took a warehouse job on the day shift, same city, same routine, hoping stability would help. I slept with the lights on and stopped using radios completely. Even music felt dangerous. Silence felt safer. And for a while, it worked. Weeks passed without anything happening. Nothing followed me. Nothing spoke.
Then the dreams started. They were always the same, an empty road at night, stretching forever. But I wasn't driving. I was standing still, watching headlights approach without ever arriving. I'd wake up soaked in sweat, and the smell would linger in my room, rotting meat mixed with burnt rubber, even with the windows closed. One night, at exactly 1:12 a.m., my phone vibrated. Unknown number, no name, just a message that said, "You stopped moving." I didn't reply. I turned the phone off, but the room felt smaller, heavier, like pressure building underwater. I heard footsteps outside my apartment door, slow and measured, matching my heartbeat. I stayed in bed and pretended to sleep, and that's when it spoke, not out loud, but inside my head. It reminded me that I used to drive, that I noticed things, and that noticing was how it all started. Covering my ears didn't help. Morning eventually came, but the feeling didn't leave. At work, alarms started bothering me. Forklifts reversing sounded wrong, like signals meant for me. I avoided loading docks and long hallways, avoided mirrors whenever I could. Then, someone at work disappeared. The night security guard, a quiet guy, a former trucker. Nobody talked about it. The news mentioned him briefly, said he left during his shift, his vehicle found running, no sign of struggle. I stopped sleeping again. One night, I decided to drive, just to clear my head. 10 minutes, I told myself, gas station and back. At 12:59 a.m., the road felt wrong, empty in a way I recognized immediately. My radio turned on by itself, static filling the car, and then the voice returned, reminding me that I remembered the rules. I don't know why, but I pulled over. The engine stayed running. Headlights appeared behind me, high and unblinking. The windows fogged up from breathing that wasn't mine, coming from the back seat. It told me I'd stopped, and the smell came back stronger than ever. Fingers brushed my shoulder, too cold, with too many joints. I floored the gas, tires screaming as something screamed back, and sunrise finally broke the sound. I made it home shaking, and that's when I understood. It wasn't the road that mattered, it was motion. Movement kept it distant, stillness fed it. That's why truckers disappear, that's why shortcuts matter, that's why stops are traps. I started driving again, short trips, always before 1 in the morning, always moving. It followed at the edge, never close, never gone. Last week, I saw it clearly for the first time in a reflection beside me, wearing my face and smiling wrong. It told me to keep driving, said that was all it wanted. I don't know how long this lasts or who's listening to this, but now you know. Some things hunt motion, some hunt attention. This hunts awareness. Once you notice, you're counted. Once you stop, you're chosen. If you drive at night, keep moving. If you quit, don't stay still. If you hear breathing or the radio speaks, drive. If the road feels alive, drive. Because stopping isn't rest, it's surrender. I'm still driving, still running, still smelling it sometimes, especially at 1:12 a.m. That time belongs to them. The highways know it, the desert knows it, and now, so do you.